Where do we start from? You first of all, you celebrated at 20 years. Earlier on, I was speaking about some of the things I've been following, especially accomplishments. 20 years of Navio music, a very successful show we had at Sheraton. I saw you had a TV show that you rolled out some time back.
We did the TV show. Just wanted to do something to show Uganda and Ugandans that we can, we can visit each other. Because a lot of people, whenever I talk to them, would be like, we're planning to go to the UAE, or we want to go to the States, etc. But we still have so much of our own country that's unexplored. So I was like, you know what, let me not also be one of those people who preaches it but doesn't do it. So we did it, and then the team was like, why don't you just take the cameras with you? So took the cameras with me, shot like 2 episodes. Next thing you know, the guys saw it and said, yo, we'll give you space to air this. So the Navio X Project was born as a TV show. And then of course I'm a musician, so everywhere we go to, we're meeting other musicians. I bring along the studio with me. So now we not only have the TV show, but we had the album. So now we dropped the album as well. I think it's maybe the second proper fusion of like traditional, definitely around the whole of Uganda. I think maybe the second traditional hip-hop project.
I saw that double video release. You represented at the Grammys. How did you end up at the Grammys?
It's 50 years of hip-hop, so they just look to different regions around the world, whether it was South America, East Africa. So I was there representing for East Africa in terms of hip-hop.
So you had that invitation.
UG!
Nice. So you are now a member at the Grammys. What exactly happens with the members at the Grammys?
You have the ability to vote. So you have the ability to vote for any artist. Anyone can be a member. It's just a matter of some of us were just inductees, like honorable inductees, but you can get online and just become a member. And I think that's what everyone needs to try and do, is to become a member. You have a lot of people who have a big presence. That is how they're able to vote and get those numbers, at the Grammys. So it's a thing where they vote for. Our society, as the Grammys, votes for people in the Grammys. So we need as many artists out there to go and get signed up. Just get online and follow the instructions.
There's been that question, how is Navio able to make money from music? Because they don't see you doing bala kubala, wanonawali. And I think you need to paint a picture, especially for the artists who are in this, for the business. That is the music business.
Well, I mean, I think they don't see me going bala to bala, but that's definitely how I feel. I don't think there's been a year where I've had less than 100, 120 shows. So I am also in the bala vibe,
but in a different way.
But but also endorsements. The endorsements are like a big part of what we do. That's it's always good to work with companies and have companies want to work with you and your brand or brands that you represent. I think that's a great way to do it. Touring, the shows really help out as well. Everything from merchandise, the clothing.
Oh yes.
That's, and of course royalties as well.
Oh yeah.
You need to at least get your streams to a point where you're comfortable. Those would be the main revenue streams for Ugandan artists. But man, as long as you keep those endorsements and the moves and those things happening, and of course the concerts are big as well. I've done I think 10 concerts so far. So you need to keep every at least 2 to 3 years putting on something for the fans, letting them come to see you, because sometimes we get wrapped up in talking about being artists without actually putting ourselves out there. So artists will be asking forever, like, when was the last time you performed? So every 2 to 3 years, you got to make sure that you get on the big stage.
Aside from music, I saw you sharing some pictures. I think you were at the farm. I've seen some pictures of you. I don't know whether you're also into real estate. You seem to be a jack of so many trades,
Yeah, definitely. Weirdly enough, like, just hearing you read out that list of some of the things we had done. I didn't know we are that busy, because when you're not moving the hits, sometimes you tend to think that you're not doing much. But we definitely had a busy year. And as well as getting into real estate now. And the farm, of course, that one was there from COVID. So it's been a wild ride. I think you always have to diversify. Do what you're interested in. If you have a chance to set something up, whether it's a restaurant or whatever you're good at, a bar or farming. There's some people sitting here who they'll be like, yeah, we have some 40 acres, but I don't know where. Like, that people in other places in the world will kill for that. So sometimes there are people who are based here, but we have a lot of property that we haven't taken advantage of. We need to do that.
Nice. Now, before we speak about your new single, Mikolo, I saw a video. There was a conversation, with Rick Ross that you shared on the socials. What was going on?
Boss. Just two bosses talking, really.
The Navio boss, Navcov boss, and Rick Ross the boss.
Just two CEOs having a back and forth. Now, it was sudden. They gave me a call. Rick Ross is putting together an album over the whole of Africa.
Okay.
And he read out two lists so far. There's gonna be maybe 30 people
on the project.
And there's gonna be producers of not so many artists, but producers, people who do mixing and mastering, promoters even. So it's gonna be a full project that he's doing on the continent. So he was just calling me up like, yo, are you ready to get on? I was like, yeah. Uganda will answer.
There is a way you always capture the eyes of some of those guys. I remember you were part of the 108 project with Ara Kelly. Now, amongst others. Now here we have these ones. Question is, you find that some of the artists you used to work with back in time, some of them have not been so musically active like Two-Face Adibia, but there is this consistency that you've had, and the eye that those guys have had on you. How are you able to basically keep this going? And also, someone was talking about the connections. You remember? How are you able to establish those connections?
For me, it's very natural. I think people know me in Uganda by now. I'm never walking in desperate to make connections. I click with who I click with. So the fact that I clicked with Two-Face is why we went to the studio. The fact that I clicked with Wizkid is why we went to the studio. The fact I clicked with Burna Boy, Keith Sweat, Sarkodie, Bobby, Young Mulo is because we have a respect for each other. So there's never a situation where it's like, oh, that guy is a big artist, let me go work with him. No, if I was doing that, I have a lot more collaborations than I do. But I believe in just music moving naturally, and I believe in vibe and because that's where it comes out the most natural. Plus, as a Rubaga boy, we have a certain amount of our own pride. So we're not always gonna be running around begging for collaborations. That's not really my style. So man, that, and also you need to be talented. People will always be like, oh my goodness, Navio, every 5 years, I'll release a cipher or verse, and people will be like, I didn't know you could rap like that. The Eno cipher came out with Me in the Snow. I don't know if you saw it, and people went crazy. They were like, oh my god, he's killed it. I didn't know you still had it in you, but I think just you need to pursue your craft and make yourself better and better and better, and people will come to you.
Nice. Your new single, Mikolo, video is not yet officially out.
Yes.
We can also speak about the timing. The year is still, we have just gotten into a new year. Briefly tell us about this song and the timing of the song.
I think, for me, big boys are going to release when they release. But also it's the start of a new year. I wanted a fresh sound. Everyone is doing either strictly Amapiano, or they're doing Ugandan folk music, or they're doing raga. I wanted to kind of get a balance between that, because, for example, with Raha, it was a dope song, but I think because I was in South Africa for 7 years of my life, it was very Amapiano. I'm like, how can I get more of a balance that represents Uruwama? And so for that, it's a song like Mikolo. It has, a bit of Afro, it has some of the hip hop, it has some of the Amapiano, all the things that I love in one song. And so and the song came about because there are so many beautiful women in the city. I saw that coming back off from Europe, I was like, these women, we need to marry them, guys.
Yeah.
Kuchala, look at that single man. No, it's time to settle down.
Yeah.
Even that one.
Yeah.
It's
now, finally, the build up to this year is basically largely about politics. I mean, next year we shall be getting to the polls. One would wonder, do you have any plans of maybe vying for any political position? Rubaga boys, I'm sure they would be interested in maybe having you. Hey,
the whole city, guys. Should I run for something? Yeah. Okay. Who should I run with? Hey.
Someone is saying Wakansala MP what?
Someone said the president.
Hey.
Someone said the PM, mayor. Mayor Navio. It's got a ring to it.
Yeah.
I'll think about it. Team, guys, put it on.
Yeah. So finally, do you maybe future prospects for this year?
Yeah, definitely want to get into a concert.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do a concert late September.
We're doing a concert this year, late September. News flash. Yeah.
Yep, you heard it here first, as usual.
Oh yes, we break the news.
Yes. So yeah, I'm gonna be doing a concert September. So yeah, from now until then, it's just gonna be a build-up.
Yeah.
Song after song, hit after hit. I'll be doing a bit of traveling as well. But yeah, it's gonna be a mad one. You know, Mikolo's just the first of many. It's not necessarily a marriage song, guys. You're just looking at the girl and you're saying, one day she deserves to be married, maybe. And maybe it's me.
Yeah.
If she believes it. So we started with Mikolo, and it's gonna be a lot of stuff happening. We have an album coming out from The Myth. Me and The Myth are doing an album as well. Flex the Paper is doing an album with a click, so it's gonna be a busy one for us.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Navio, for coming around. Make some noise for Navio one more time.
Respect.
And that is the Navio moment on Horizon Vibe. Now, still yet to come, Ragadi is going to be joining us. Still yet to come, King Saha is going to be joining us. And later on, I think I can have all of them here so that they can face you.
The hot seat.
The hot seat when you're firing them the questions. Ready for that and more? Now, there is someone who is walking in right now. Ragadi. Yes, live pictures coming in. Ragadi is going to be celebrating 37 years.
Yo, OG.
Yeah.
This guy blazed the trail for us lyricists and us rappers, man. Ragadi. And there's something about these great people having the name Daniel.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Wow.
Okay. Yeah.
Daniels, really.
Daniel Chugozi, Daniel Kazibwe,
Leaders.
Very interesting, right? Now we're crossing to Babzi to give us some messages right now, maybe one or two, and shortly after that, we're getting into the messages. Okay, maybe the messages later on. Now we have some t-shirts there.
Ooh.
Brand Calvin the Entertainer, just like you're seeing some teas here for Navcop.
Do you have 5XL?
Yeah, we can get 5XL as well. Yeah,
are you sure?
Our teas go for just 50k. Yeah, Cheta Nocho Kango supporting a brand. Last week he bought 10. I don't know how many he's taking this time.
Many
I get
but
this.
If I took 10 already, you just add me 1.
Plus 10 plus 1, eh?
Yeah.
Nice one. Navio right there. Now listen, please play some music, and shortly after that we get to usher in another guest, but Navio is still with us.